Okay, for summation, we need two vectors. Okay, so first we look at the summation or addition. Okay, let's assume you have two vectors. I will call the first vector vector A. Let's say this is our displacement. Okay, our displacement. Okay, I call this vector A. Okay, so as we know this now, our vector A, we use an arrow representing the length and also the direction. But the text, the letter you use to represent a vector have to be a bit special compared to some other lettering you use. So in this case, some books use this, okay, and some books use this. There's a little bit of wave down there, okay. So now, I prefer to use this one most of the time. It depends on people, okay. So now, this is my vector A, and I have another vector called vector B. Okay, I have another vector B. So this is vector B. So this is my first displacement, and this is my second displacement. So now, if you are asked to find A plus B, okay, now you are asked to sum up these two vectors, A plus B. So what you do is, you draw the first vector first. So that means you transfer this vector here. So this is what we have. Transfer this vector, make sure it's the same length. If you measure, the length will be the same. So this is my vector A. Now followed by vector B. So I draw it to the a bit left. Okay. So this is my vector A. Now vector B, you follow after vector A. So that means you transfer this vector from here to here, but make sure that they are parallel. So now this is my vector B. Okay, vector B. So now you have a starting point, and then you have an ending point here. So I'll call this one the initial point, and this one is the final point, I and F. Alright? Now, if you have that 2 points, your summation, your answer will be from the initial point until the final point. Okay? So that is how you sum up vector. So the red vector here is pointing in this direction and at a certain angle from the original direction of your A. Alright? So when you are giving answer, you have to calculate two things. Number one, how long is this vector? And number two is, what is the angle here? So, since this one is not 90 degrees, so this one you cannot use the simple Pythagoras theorem to calculate. Okay? And then the angle here also you cannot use the normal sine and cosine or tangent to calculate, because this one is not a 90 degree triangle. So that means you have some other formula to calculate. That one I will show you in some other example later. So these are just way to calculate, okay, to combine two vectors together. Now, how about if you are asked to find B plus A? We're going to see whether they are the same or not. Now is the second one, B plus A. Okay, B plus A. So if B plus A, then you start with B first. Okay, you start with B first. I start a B here. Okay, that is my B vector, and then followed by A. Okay, followed by A, which is horizontal in this case, like that. So that is my A. So now this is my initial point. That is my final point. So I will do the same thing like before. Okay. Now, if you compare these two lines, they are parallel. Okay, they are parallel. So this angle now, instead of with A, now your angle is with B. But it's not wrong if you calculate the angle here, it's okay. But since this one are in different angle, so I will call this one alpha instead of theta. Alright? So now this one here is A plus B. and this one is B plus A. Since both of them are the same, so conclusion is, okay, the conclusion is our A plus B is actually the same as B plus A. Okay, you learn that one in your mathematics. Okay, you learn that one in your mathematics. So in physics, how do you sum up two vector quantity? It depends on your preference. Okay, you can start with the first vector followed by second, or you start with the second and then followed by number one. It makes no difference because vector is independent of space. Okay, so that's why vector is very important. It is independent of space. Alright, so that is one of the example. Give you another example to have, for example, more than two vectors. We see how we're going to solve that problem. Okay, so that one is example 1. I call this example 1. Now come to example 2. Okay, example 2. Now let's say we have now, I don't use A, B anymore, I will use B, C, C, D, E. Okay, let's say you have 3 vector, that is C, and then followed by another vector, this one is called D, and then another vector is like that. That one is E. Okay, that one is E. So you are asked to find C plus D plus E. Okay, C plus D plus E. So we start with we follow the sequence. We start with C. Okay, so C is downwards. Okay, C is downwards, followed by D in this direction, right? So follow that direction. Slightly longer. Now that is my C, and this is my D, and then my E is horizontal, and it is a short vector here. So that is the E. So now your starting point is here, initial, and the ending point is here, final. So what you need to do is just complete the diagram. Starting from I, go to F. Now you get that vector. Okay, you get that vector. So this vector is C plus D plus E. But writing vector like this is a time-consuming process. So normally what we do is we call it by some other vectors. Okay? For example, this vector C plus D plus E can be called vector F. Okay? You can call it vector F. But you know that vector F is actually C plus vector D plus vector E. Okay? So that is how we solve summation in vector. Okay? Summation in vector. So these are just example without numbers. Okay? Later I give example with numbers. Okay? For example, this one. These are example with number now. Example number 3. Okay, so you might need not need protractor, compass. You need a compass to measure the angle. Okay, so now example is like this. You are given, okay, a vector that point. I call this length here 18. This is my displacement vector. Displacement A is 18 centimeter to your east. And then another vector is like that. Then another vector is like that. So how long is this vector here? Okay, 15. This is my vector B. That is 15 centimeter is a displacement, and I give you the angle here. This one is theta, and your theta is 45 degree. Okay, the question is find A plus B using drawing method. Okay, using drawing method. Alright. So that is your example number 3. Okay. So after that we come back again.